No, è incasinato come sempre, ma
Ci
va
siamo.
bene, va bene.
Alrighty. Hello, Marco. What's up? How
Hi,
are
Mirko.
you?
Great to see you. All right. Hectic times, but all good.
Yeah, I can definitely confirm. And yeah, pretty much. Hey, everyone. Hello. What's up from pretty much every part of the world? I'm from Barcelona at the moment, talking here, although my traditional Overwatch background is present. And today we have a special guest, which is Marco from Supercell, from London or UK, I guess.
From London, indeed. Hello, everyone.
Oh. Ciao. Hey, Credit. Long time no speak. How are you, man? We have some, like, I would say, play higher veterans, people that are, like, joining us pretty much every time. So Credit is definitely one of them. And good to see you, man. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm very honored to have Marco with us today. He works at Supercell, like in the tech team. And I mean, I don't really like to do some kind of, intros or stuff. So I would rather just let you share your own journey in games because it's quite a good one. So we'd love just to hear what's your story before like starting the whole thing.
It's part of the slide, so we can jump straight in, and I'm gonna tell you more about it.
Awesome. So we can just get started. Today we're going to talk about basically blending professionalism with other people and trying to understand what makes a great team in video game companies, or like maybe more broadly, how can you ship a good game and you cannot do it without having a great team. So what are the dynamics behind it? And Marco is super good at it, and like super good overall, but especially when it comes to building teams. So I'm super curious to hear your take. And as usual, if you have any questions that pops up in your mind, please just drop it here in the comments, and I'm gonna spotlight it so we can answer them. We reserved a little Q&A time at the end, but if anything comes first, we may even stop it and jump on questions. So just shoot them as usual. Alrighty, so Marco, I will leave you the stage, and yeah, anything you can do them here, but
Thank you very much, Mirko.
Thank you.
Starting blushing already is not wasn't my intention, but I'm humbled, really. Like, thank you for your for giving me the opportunity, and thank you everyone for being here tonight. I might look at here every now and then for the comments and double monitor like set up. Also, it was a pretty hectic day. I had very few minutes to practice this, but this is a talk that I gave before, so I think I'm ready. If I stumble, please bear with me. But here we go. Let's start straight away. I wanted to talk to you about insights on best teams today. But first, before we jump straight into that, a little disclaimer. I want to state that everything I say is my own opinion. It's based on my experience so far, and there is no manual like to do the things that I'm gonna explain here today. At least as far as I know, there is not one. But if you do find one, please share, because I am really interested. Like, it would be amazing. So, hello everyone, I already said that. This is me with my father. Why am I sharing this picture? Because I am very grateful to my dad for everything he gave to me and the opportunities that he gave me to become the person that I am. And he gave me everything I needed to be here today to tell you all about this. So I'm originally from Italy, and I graduated in computer engineering a long time ago now, because I'm pretty old at this point. But like, I started loving video games and playing with them at the age of 5, more or less. I started with an Amiga 600. I'm not sure if many people played with this, but if you didn't do it, it's an amazing machine. And NES, then I fell in love with it, and I kept on playing games. And 25 years ago, more or less, it was 2000, actually. I did my first game in RPG Maker. It was 2000, RPG Maker 2000. Then I ported it in 2003. That was a fun experience. It took me 7 years to complete, and actually it was an amazing experience that opened quite some doors, actually, and I can tell you more about it. But I had collectively now 13 years in the more than 13 years in the industry. I've worked at different game studios, Speed Games, Warp, Pixion Games, which I founded here in London, Mediatonic, Epic Games, and Supercell now. And I worked across Europe mostly, and the UK, because technically it's not Europe anymore. And yeah, this was my path so far. What do I do when I don't code? So like I forgot to mention that I'm a programmer, but like Mirko already stated that, so I won't repeat myself. But like the first experience I had outside of programming was in Spiel Games a long time ago in the Netherlands, where I founded this team called Team Mega. They gave me the opportunity to study Scrum, and I'm not sure who is familiar with Scrum, but I got the privilege of being trained by Jeff Sutherland himself, and he's the inventor of Scrum. I don't know why they saw in a junior developer like me the ability to learn about these concepts and applying them in the team, but they did it, and they gave me this opportunity. I took it, and I created these like little things that you see here, where we took one of my favorite games, Mega Man, and everybody was really resonating with that too, and we replaced like the faces of the Robot Masters and Mega Man and the Rush and Proto Man and so on, Willy. With the team members and the director of the studio. It was fun because like we were like putting this thing around the company just to give like like to show them that we were there, that we existed, and we were a cool team, and we wanted to just like being like looked at, and we didn't want to be anonymous. And after that, I was helping a team in Jersey at a company called SidePlay, making games, of course, so as a developer, but I was also helping them creating the pipelines or improving the communication with the team, and creating the key meetings that were supposed to happen to have like a solid pipeline in delivering the products. So I was like kind of being an agile coach together with being a programmer. And after that, I founded Pixion Games with an amazing CEO who taught me so much. And together, we actually founded. We created actually our first culture. Like I didn't even know it was a thing in a way, but like we shaped it, and we gave it a nice acronym. I'm still very proud of it. We called it the Supreme Work Culture, and you can still find it in the pillars of this company. And it stands for supportive, united, positive, respectful, efficient, merry, and encouraging. And it's a lot, but like it really resembles all the things that we want it to be as a company. And this is very important because I'm going to talk about this like quite extensively in this talk. Then I was like a pod lead in Mediatonic, mostly on Fall Guys, where I was like leading a team for the creation mostly of the season pass. So we were like revamping the season pass from the premium part of the premium version of the game to the free-to-play one. It was amazing because like it helped me understand like in a bigger scale, like a bigger company, the key figures that needed to talk to each other and share information. And I had an amazing team, and other pod leads with me were like interacting in a very synergetic way. I loved every second of it. And now I am a self-founder at Supercell. And if you don't know what a cell is in Supercell, you can imagine that as a startup at all effects. It's a company within Supercell following the same values, the same culture, and with obviously the goal to make the next hit game. And to get there, I will tell you more about it later. But I'm privileged to be a self-founder right now, and I'm very excited about it. Now, I wanted to talk to you a little about like a personal character arc, but I think this can apply to many things. I'm not sure how many people are familiar with the personal character arc, but I like to think that like we all start with high energy, enthusiasm, like in creating things, making anything, or even in relationship. Like this can be applied, in my opinion, in so many ways to so many things. But like, sometimes just like life happens, or like age happens, many things can happen that slow you down, that basically just like make things harder for you to continue doing what you love. And love is actually another very important thing, because like some things might really harm your love for what you do, which in this case is of course making games, and that can be burnout or sudden performance reviews, or things that you find yourself like in. Or all of a sudden layoffs, which sadly now happen like very, very often. This is something that like objectively will harm the core of the love for the things you make. So this is kind of the slope, like is the moment where you're like at the bottom and you don't know what is going to happen. But like I'm also positive that like it's possible to keep that flame on. And one thing that I found helping for me, I want to once again stress the fact that I'm talking from my own experience, and I know this doesn't apply for everyone, but I'm bringing you mine, and I hope it can help. It's to be grateful for whatever you have, whatever it is. It can be little, it can be a lot, but like being grateful for that helped me personally a lot, and I will recommend it for everyone. This is why I started with my dad slide, because I am very grateful for all the things that he gave me, especially the values that I live with every day, and especially also the fact that you're not alone, because it's very easy right now to feel like completely detached and forgotten by everything that is happening in the industry, in the world. Get involved, like try to. I know it's hard maybe for more introverted people, but like I'm pretty sure that can be helpful if you find the right support for it. And a little about culture. I'm pretty sure that you heard the word culture, but like trust me, it's not a buzzword. There is this guy, Peter Drucker, who is amazing, and he used to say this sentence that I love so much. It's culture, it's strategy for breakfast. And I really, really like that, because it just shows that it's not just a buzzword. It's not just a thing that you say because you want to tell a story or you want to sell something to somebody. It's a real thing, and it's actually vital, especially at scale. So when a company grows and you need to maintain the same vision, the same values. So also adapting is essential, especially nowadays as things change so fast. If you don't have strong pillars, things will fall apart almost surely. And again, not a buzzword, because another very, in my opinion, smart person, Patrick Lencioni, who's one of my favorite authors, said that it's not finance, not strategy, not technology, but it is teamwork that remains the ultimate competitive advantage, both because it is so powerful and rare. I will tell you more about how hard it is to make a team, to create a team a little further, but I agree. I really agree. Like, I think that like founding the people that are key to bring your vision forward is very, very pivotal. It's very important. And also people that inspire other people to do better. Or if you have, like, again, a very, very strong culture, you will attract and retain talent. So you won't have to be like too worried that people will leave the company with the consequent loss of time and money. Also reforming people and handsovers, like, I mean, you name it. I love also the fact that if we all take a part in it, we can create a virtuous ripple effect. There's something that actually can help, like the industry and even outside of it, like as a whole. So I'm a big fan of putting attention into culture as much as we can. Now, I did some premises before. I will do some more, and I will get back to what I was saying before about how hard it is to find a team. Like, forming a team is harder than making the game. There is another talk that I used to give where I call it the free game dev pillars. And it says that there is creating the team, making the game, and shipping, publishing your game. Like, those are the three main, like, pillars of game making. And the middle one, like making the game, is the easiest, because if you do have the amazing like people that make that game, that making it is not going to take like hard long. It's not going to be that hard. Of course it's going to be hard, but not as hard as finding those right people. And trust me, not as hard as like marketing, selling, publishing that game, especially nowadays with the saturation and so many other like issues that we have. So don't rush it. Do not like force this. Find the right people, find the right vision also before you start even considering making a game. That's my recommendation if you're really serious into making something that lasts forever. And also, again, to focus more on teams more than games. And that's simply mathematics in a way, because like objectively and statistically, your first game is not going to be a hit, and it's just what it is. And so if you focus on the team, though, that's what stays. That's what Peter was saying. It's the thing that will drive eventually that success. Many companies with a success story can tell you that they failed so many times before actually hitting, and that's because they had that culture, that vision, always as their guiding star. I also believe that being ambitious for a change, of course, is important, because staying static and doing things that was already done or it's already done, and just to stay afloat will surely make you survive, but it's not going to make you go forward, go to the next level, and you're not contributing too much in making something for the better in the future. It's tough, don't get me wrong, absolutely, but like it's necessary, I think. And I love to see like so many companies and small teams now in this like bad moment coming in and trying something that is like bold and ambitious. Again, I'm repeating myself, but like it's never enough. Share and seek support. Sorry, it's important to share and seek support, because, as I said, nowadays is probably like the most important time to be ready to get help if needed and provide it. Even more important. I see that there is a question. I will get to the questions at the end, if that's all right. Just so I go straight to the. Thank you. I will get to your question though. Yes, Kreth. It's a little hard to pronounce. I'm sorry, but yes. Where was I? Yes. Being mindful and aware of others is also a very important part of this. Like, awareness is key, because like we all come from different backgrounds, places, cultures. Like, so we don't all think the same. We don't have the same feelings. We don't react the same way. So it's a tough exercise, but trust me, like it can bring you very, very far. Like if you start practicing it, again, in my opinion. And if you notice also that someone is in need, like I would also recommend, being aware. I'm not suggesting go straight to the point and try to help. Like, I'll fix this for you. I'll jump there and like do that because I think that you are in need. That might sound as condescending to some people. It might sound as like not necessary, over the line. But like being aware, so noticing all these things, is very powerful. And don't never forget, especially if you are in a position of leadership, or if you're going like like upper in the hierarchy in a way. And again, not just in the game industry, but in general. If you have more responsibilities, then you are affecting and influencing the others. Being aware of that is very important, because if you are like the CEO of a huge company, like what you do and what you say has a different influence. Like that's something that people should be aware of, and I'm sure many are. So how do you actually like make this culture go and make it go like the way you want? Well, obvious trick, but the powerful one: communicate, talk. There is no such thing as too much communication, Patrick Lencioni says, and I again agree so much with him. I'm biased, I know, but I do believe is really right, because there is a difference between talking too much, which I do myself, and I'm learning to do less. But communicate means like passing the message, means like being able to explain something to somebody, and there is never too much. If you want to pass a concept, if you want to add context, if you want to explain, it's never a mistake. And why is that? Because nobody can read minds. Like, again, like we're all different. Some people would say it's obvious, these specific things. Some others never thought of it because of their background, because of their experience, because of many reasons. So communicating is the only way that can actually bring you there. And it's also okay to be candid, because like if there is constructive feedback, not communicating it is unkind, in my opinion. And there is this scene from Ace Ventura that I love. Who have something in my teeth. I would want somebody to tell me, like, there are many times that I pronounced like words in English, which is not my main language, but like in the wrong way. Like, so I was like, using the wrong pronunciation for a word, and nobody ever said anything until somebody did. And I'm like, oh my God, did I actually say this wrong all this time? Why didn't they tell me? Like, I got like, oh my God, I blushed, and I was like, years of mistakes, and I didn't know. This is a tough one, and I don't expect it, once again, that this is like something that you must do or whatever, but it really helped me, like trying to share your thoughts and feelings, not just what you're going to do, but like how you feel, what you're thinking, like, and especially the failures over your successes helps so much people relating to you and understanding what works and doesn't work for you, but also gives them the impression, which is probably what you're trying to do, that you are a trustful person, that you're somebody that like doesn't have anything to hide, and you're open to their feedback, open to their suggestion, you care. And that's very important, especially if you are a leader. Now, this is a more practical one, striving to have the same language. Glossary, for example, or accessible term acronyms. Glossary especially is something that I found extremely helpful. As game developers, I think we all ended up in the player's dilemma. The player, like when you talk players, a programmer thinks something, an artist thinks something else, a designer thinks another thing, and a marketing person thinks another thing again. So glossaries are very helpful, and try to always have at least one in every team I am. Be honest, it sounds pretty obvious, but like it's so important because you can understand that if you're not honest, you're gonna lose trust, and trust is one of the hardest things to gain back. Embrace your flows. It's kind of obvious as well, but like I kind of repeating myself when I say that like sharing them might really be positive, because like if you go ahead and say, hey, please bear with me with this because like, you know, I'm not the best in that, that will make people aware and will make people know that it's nothing with them specifically, but it's something that is on you and you are happy to share with them, so they know. Now, what can you bring into this like virtuous circle that we were talking about before? Well, I love the self-reflection like part of it, and I personally try as much as I can to do personal retrospectives. And when I say retrospectives, I'm talking agile terms, I know, but find a time, maybe once a year, once a month, once a week, up to you, to really reflect on what went well personally for you, and what didn't go well, what you would have wanted to do better or differently, and what went exactly as you planned or even better. Ask yourself also how you can contribute in the team, as in like if you think that you might have something to add, just, you know, like think about it and maybe write it down, or like make a little plan to bring something of yourself in the mix, so to say. And I love the striving to better yourself. It's also very obvious, but like try to identify something that you really want to change, because like you want to be better in, and there is always something if you really look. Plus, I love the idea that like we're always the worst version of ourselves, because we can always be better the day after going forward. There is no limit to age, the professionality, experience, and so on. Going forward, like there is always room to improvement. And park your ego. I know you heard this before. There is no I in we nor in team. Always use we, for example, when you talk about things that like involve the team. It's not about you. It's not about your ego. And egos, by definition, conflict with each other. Like they just don't can't exist together, because ego is like the only thing. And so I know it's tough sometimes. I struggle myself. I think we all do. We're humans. But like it's a super powerful like trick to always keep in your mind that it's not about you. It's about the vision. It's about the team. It's about whatever you set up to do. And avoid getting defensive. It's kind of related, but it has a lot to do with culture, I would say, and personality. There are times where, like, for example, I received feedback in a very constructive way, but I still took it as like, oh, they're telling me that I'm not good enough, or they're telling me that I'm not capable in doing what I'm doing. And all I was doing, I was actually like taking that as an attack to myself. So my ego was taking over, instead of thinking, hey, they're actually telling me because they care, because they want to have a better relationship with us and get to that, vision at the end of the line together. So finally, leading by example and living to learn is one of my favorites, because there is such a huge difference between bosses and leaders. And leading means empowering, enabling, helping, supporting the people that you are with. And it's not the people under you. It's not the people that are supposed to do things for you, but you are at their service. Like you are the person that is like helping them get to the peak. And while a boss instead is the person that, like, again, driven by ego, I I got to this place because I worked hard for it, so I deserve it, and the others don't. And then they take over, they micromanage, they tell you what to do. That breaks the trust, breaks the mechanic of like, oh, he's trusting me with my professionality, my skill set, my the person that I am. And that is not leading. That is like deciding for others, and I think that's wrong. Now, communication can go many ways, and the person-to-person one is a pretty obvious one, but I think it can be even like less obvious than we think. There is a myth that I wanted to bust here, like the treat people as you'd like to be treated. Wrong, in my opinion. As again, we are all different. We all come from different like cultures, different mindsets, different things. Like what feels great for you might feel horrible for somebody else. It might be like very annoying. So I actually personally thought that this was a great teaching. That was something that I always like been educated with, and I changed my mind. I'm like, okay, like maybe I was wrong. Maybe actually this is not really helping me. Instead, I should ask and share what works for somebody else, and also share what works for me. Because then again, at this point, like we know each other on a deeper level, and not just like, hi, I'm Marco. Also, we should all be friends. Another beat busted. Like some people maybe have different relationship with their friends, and like you can't assume that it's always positive, or like it's always like something that you should bring in the mix at work. Maybe people want to have a disconnection. They want to have friends and they want to have work, and that's their own choice, and it's perfectly fine. So get to know your team members instead. Get to actually know them like at a deeper level for the vision that you need to get. That doesn't mean that you need to have beers every night together. It can only be that you want to know them better for the purpose of getting to the result that you both gave yourself. Embracing diversities and challenges is also very pivotal, very important, because we're all different. Again, I know I'm repeating myself, but like especially when we have different personalities, like very high energy, like I am, for example, but like talking with a person that is much more introverted, that creates sparks that needs to be tuned. So somebody needs to tune out there, like in that situation, and it's something that, like again, if we're aware of, it's already very helpful. Being open-minded and kind is another thing that works very well, and I love the fact that that's the least obvious part maybe of the person-to-person communication is that you can be open-minded and kind, especially to yourself. And I'll say that I'm not the best in that. Like I'm not black belt in being kind to myself. Actually, quite the opposite. I struggle with that. I want to know more about it. I go to therapy for it. I try to empower myself and know more about my inner self. Hypnotherapy, for example, helped me a lot to have a conversation with my subconscious. And it's that kind of conversation that you have with yourself. So communication person to person works also with the person that you are with yourself. Then there is the person to team. So like it's you as an individual, and not necessarily bringing your ego, but your skill set, your personalities, like yourself, your true self to the team. And I'm gonna bust another myth here. Like we are family. I heard it so many times, like in companies especially. We're all family here. Once again, like you are assuming that family is like a great place for everyone, and everyone is like super like like lovely with each other. You might have situations where like family to somebody is like like a huge like red like alarm ringing. So I would not go there personally. I would instead like think that a sports team suits better, because you have a common goal. Again, you have like something that you want to achieve, and all the things that we talked about before, the vision, where you want to get. And that's much more resembling a sports team in my eyes, or in my books. But yes, like I love this one too. The best people make the best team. No, the best people make the best games. No, the best teams make the best games. And actually, this was a Supercell pillar. Best people make the best games, and they changed it into best teams. I really love it, because like we as individuals serve a purpose for the team, and again, when it's so synergetic, like we are a whole kind of unit. We're a whole thing. when you are like in a company that doesn't have this like attention to teams, you are a resource, which is great. But sometimes you lose purpose, for example, or you lose your passion because you're moved from one place to another, from one project to another, which is totally like fine and necessary. But you need to be the one wanting it. You need to be the person that wants to make that change and fit into that other culture or that other ways of doing things, because every place has different ways of operating. And you just, for example, did so much work with your team to get like to knowing each other, to have your own little routines and things, and now bam, you're somewhere else. Like, I think there is some potential loss there. So the teams, instead, like putting like a stronger attention to the teams is a very, very valuable thing. GGGG. Did I say it right? GGGG? Yes, 4Gs. Get garbage, give greatness. This is a concept that I learned from an amazing mentor of mine and good friend. When I was founding Pixion, he said, get this in your mind and live with by this value. That's really resembling what I was talking about in leadership. Like, when you are a leader, you get garbage to give greatness. So you shield your team from all the things that they are not supposed to, be in contact with. And that doesn't necessarily mean like you have to do work for them. It could be very much, but it could be also that the company is not doing great, and like you are very stressed and you are very like scared, and you cannot drop that on them. You cannot bring them down and make them feel stressed. So you have to deal with it. You have to, because you choose to be that leader, because you choose to be like that person in that position, you need to deal with it, and you need to give them instead like all the tools and all the abilities and all the serenity to keep on doing what they're doing, because eventually that is what is going to bring you to success. So again, enabling your peers and acting as a powerful leader is exactly this. And I'm forever grateful for this value, because I still live by it, or at least I try every day. Look for synergy, not vetoes. Yes, because like vetoes again are like something that are driven by ego. Once again, it's you want to state that this is not right. You want to put your finger on it and say like, you look at me, I can stop this. That's not going to bring anything like positive moving forward, because it's not like creating any communication. It's just like blocking any discussion. So look for synergy instead. Like, try to find it. It's hard, of course, it's harder, but like try to find that synergy, that way of people like thinking the same, or at least like towards the same goal, no matter what it takes. And then you're gonna have a powerful team. And this is something that I think I repeated already many times, but like setting and discussing habits and expectations actually is powerful, especially, for example, in nowadays time from working from home, for example. Like, you might have some habits and expectations in the ways you do things that you would like not to change. That doesn't mean that they won't. They might. But like, again, if you don't set and discuss those things up front, you might just assume that everything is fine, and then you might be disappointed. So your expectations are not met, and then you're going to be frustrated. While if you have an honest conversation and a candid conversation with your team, you see what's possible, and then bang, maybe you found like the best deal that you wanted just because you communicated it. So that's also pretty powerful in my opinion, especially in nowadays teams. And finally, the team-to-team communication. This is more for like teams at companies at scales, but like thinking at scale is important. It's something that I'm learning like by the day, because as I was saying, there is always room to improve and learn. And I don't know enough about this subject, but what I can tell you from my observation so far is that thinking at scale is something that never hurts to do at a very early stage. So how to plan to nurture it and maintain it when the company grows is key, because eventually your company will grow and new people will come in, and they will have to be synergetic indeed with like your values, your culture. And that doesn't mean like you have to force people to think or do the thing you do. it's important to also bring value from outside. Look, so new people come and they might teach you something, and that's perfectly fine. But like, you need to have, again, that guiding light. It cannot be just a buzzword. It has to be something that you check every now and then, that you measure, that you challenge even at times. And so planning, for example, to find the right people to bring legacy to it when you're not going to be there anymore, because let's face it, you're going to move to another position one day or somewhere else, or life happens. And once again, and you will need to find somebody that can be you, that can replace like what you were like preaching substantially, and can be a good voice for the values that you want to bring. And another thing, maximizing learning opportunities in big companies. I always see that there are these sharing moments, these opportunities to just talk about, in a social or not context, about what I learned, what I did, an idea that I had, and maybe it's coming from a completely different department or group or whatever. Like I remember talking with people from marketing, and as a programmer, I'm like, I don't know what we could talk about, but man, like I got like so many great ideas from people that were completely outside of my little bubble. And we are all very creative people in this industry too. So like being sure that as the company grows, these like bubbles like still interact with each other is very important. Oops, sorry about that. Optimizing communications, of course, is key. But if we all already did like the steps in person to person and person to team, I think we already have like a good base to go forward when we have to scale. So be sure that communication is good. It's very tough, by the way. Not saying that this is easy at all. And yes, again, get ready to change. Nowadays is like a must. Either you adapt. It's really Darwinian. Like if you don't make it, like if you don't adapt to change, and if you're ready, you're probably gonna succumb. Yeah. So I got to be a self-founder because of Spark, and I'm not sure if you know about Spark and if you heard about it, but Spark is basically the team incubator that creates new cells in Supercell. And this is us at the end of like last year, and this is my cell. And we, after 4 months in Helsinki, we proved that we were, motivated enough, and we had what it took to make the next hit game. It was tough. It was very tough. But like, let me tell you a little more about it. Like, I was in a very like low. You remember the character arc? I was kind of like in one of my like lowest moments, and this opportunity came up. And like, I gotta say that I was losing that love for making games. I was fed up by many things that happened. I was very sad. I was like pessimistic, and this journey actually reignited and solidified the love of making games with a team that like I really love, and we are super synergetic. Like I can't be more grateful. So again, practicing that being grateful is very helpful. And it was tough. It was definitely a tough process, but not negative at all. If anything, it empowered me so much, and I came out like leveled up 3 times. I would say. It was again like to get into like a more like detailed like version of it. Like we took this Enneagram personality test. If you never had it, like I recommend it. It's pretty interesting. We did feelings check, and we still do it weekly every Friday, where we actually like talk about not like what went well, and that's a retrospective, like that's more hands-on and like skills related, or what happened like like practically. But this is more like how we feel. How do we feel, and why do we do that? Because we want to get like a pulse of like how our team is doing. We want to know if we're in a up or at the down, because with that we can really measure how well we do when we are under stress or when we're not fine. And this is powerful data. This is actually something that really helps us. And again, to practice that awareness, to say like, I know that somebody might be in need. Like for example, Marco is not doing great this week. Let's not overcharge him, because like it might pop, and we don't want that. The other way around, if Marco is a little more able to help and provide support, then let's try to deliver more or delegate more. And I'm using my name just as an example, clearly, but that's kind of the message. And we do that weekly, and it's super powerful. And like, I'm so glad that we're still doing it. We also had like a how to boost your presentation skill with like an award-winning improv comedian, which is one of our team members. She literally taught us how to talk in public and how to be like more, relaxed and being more like fine with ourselves when we have to talk like with someone. Because one of the things that we had to do, the final one, was actually to have a green light panel. It was like 2.5 hours with Ilkka, the CEO of Supercell himself, and another bunch of people to basically show him that we had what it took to make the next Supercell hit. And that's a tough, exercise. Like you need to know how to talk in that case, and you need to be calm, and you need to show that you're not freaking out. So great, super grateful that we had like that course. We learned how much pressures the psychological support and coaching is. There was a psychologist following us for the whole process, and that person is now my coach, and I am so blessed that she is my coach because she is amazing. And I also learned very, very in a very hard way that like cultural onboarding is tough, and I don't think I know exactly how to do it again. Like I will have to learn even more. Like, but when we try to onboard someone else in the team, it was very difficult. Like we definitely made some mistakes there, and again, every lesson, it's like a blessing. We introduced this concept of liquid leadership, which I really like, and it was like the fact that when somebody is like the lead, is not really like their title. It is on paper, but like we all lead if somebody is cannot make it, for example. Again, that like being aware and passing the ball, and so we are all leaders in a way. We all support each other, we all enable each other. Finally, we had a very, very personal meeting. We're gonna have it again. It's called the meaty skeletons, and that's like the skeletons in your closet, but like with the meaty bits, like the hard parts. And why we have that? Because we believed that showing trauma and like something that really hits you and something that you really like resonate in, like especially in the bad, but also in the good, it's super valuable, because like then you know where somebody's coming from, and you know what they're triggered by, and then you can be like super careful around those subjects, and you can support better. And having a person that feels safe, super powerful. It's something that is really, really, really helpful. So yes, the outcome of our like big journey, I'm not going to go into all the details here, but this is basically the culture that we came up with, and we have identified these values, these pillars, and this is our culture as our cell, and it's just the 5 of us for now, but like 4 actually right now, so apologies, but like there is a layer down, like at the bottom, that's the foundation of trust. Without that, stop. Don't even go try and build anything up there. Stop immediately and gain that trust. Take whatever it takes, like do whatever it takes to gain it and to share it. But if you don't have that, do not try to build on top of it. It's gonna fall. It's important, and like it's so important there is a foundation. So trust is down there, and it comes from respecting each other, obviously, and believing in best intent. So again, that thing, when somebody tells you something, it's because they have the best intent. They have the vision. They have our mission in mind, and nothing else. Then, of course, on top of trust, we have care and ownership, contextual communication, emotional safety, and people growth. All the things I told you about today resonate with the things in here. And again, I'm not going to go through all these like examples, but there are like a lot of things that I hope you can find helpful in our culture pillars. And about Spark, just for you to know, like we have recruitment starting for 2026. Actually, it's gonna probably happen in 2027. I got more to come, but you can go on the website to get more information. Specifically, we look for artists, designers, and programmers. So because in the beginning the team is like so lean that it doesn't require producers, for example, or QA or any other like key pivotal part of the sorry, of the team. But obviously, as the team grows, then more people would be needed. But that's if you really would want to like challenge yourself and try to basically create a company, create a team, and with a vision for Supercell. That's a good way to do it. If you want more information, feel free to ask me anything at my email, and visit the website. I didn't add it over here, but like again, if you text me, I will send it to you. But you can literally Google Spark Supercell, and it's definitely going to be the first hit, or very likely at least. Now, before I stop, we have 13 minutes left. Not bad. I wanted to share some knowledge, like from books. Like I love reading about all of these subjects as well. I try to, as I said, to learn more by the day, improve not only my skills but also my knowledge around all these subjects. And these are amazing books that I really recommend. The last one I read was The Culture Map, and it was extremely powerful. It made me realize, oh my God, that is why I find like people from those cultures so different, and I struggle so much in communicating with them. Ha. And that was like really like a eureka moment for me. I'm not gonna get into the details. Like I want to give you more time for questions, but these are the books that I would recommend. And one that I didn't read, but was recommended kindly from many friends, actually not only one, and that's why it's in this list, is Radical Candor. So grab your copies of these bad boys. And I will leave you with one, guess what, Patrick Lencioni quote, teamwork is not a virtue, it is a choice, and a strategic one, which encompasses exactly what I was trying to say. It's not a buzzword, it's a real strategic thing. And thank you very much. Like, feel free to ask me anything.
Holy guacamole, that was a hell of a hit. Thank you, Marco. It was absolutely mesmerizing. I really loved, first off, the references, which is, when it comes to leadership, or I would say not super concrete topics, it's kind of hard to, identify from what these come from, and eventually what are the takes, right, that you can apply in your day-to-day routine. And I loved it because this was extremely practical. It was like actionable things. And we often, including myself, I can tell you this story.
Please.
The biggest mistake that I made last year, I tried to build 2 startups stealth mode. One is, let's say, what PlayHire is right now in an open source version, but originally it was a different project that I kind of pivoted into an open source learning community. The second one, I never spoke about it publicly. It was basically a technology tool for recruiting in games, based on AI. We did everything you theoretically should do as a early stage startups, which is validating the MVP, try to get attention from investors and yada yada. We also get some companies buying it as the prototype, which was nice, but then it failed, and it failed for one very simple reason, which was team. The team was not structured in a proper way, because the people that I co-founded with at first, the first one was a friend of mine, which is an extremely talented person, but it happened to not be the right person from a technical perspective of what the product required. So it was mostly a hard skills issue, which by the end of the day, it's also a matter, right? You need to have people that you can work with, but at the same time, you need people that are in a team. They cannot be like 3 designers and 0 artists and 0 programmers, because otherwise it won't work. And then I did the opposite. I kind of hired as a co-founder an extremely talented engineer, which was exactly the same what the product required from a technical perspective, but we were not super aligned on the way we worked, the commitment, the culture aspect, and so it didn't work, simply. And despite the fact that the product was potentially needed, we had customers, it was going well, at the very end it didn't work. So I strongly agree with pretty much everything you said. And finding the right people and trying to understand how you can work with them efficiently. It's not a joke. It's very hard.
No,
And so this was extremely useful. So I really want to thank you for sharing your experience and also putting this together, because it's super valuable, honestly.
no, no, thank you. I always feel blessed to have the opportunity to share this, because sometimes I look back at when I started, and I'm like, I wish I had like moments like this where I could ask questions, or I could I'll go out there and I have like so many questions, like how do I do this, how do I do that.
Yeah,
I actually have a question for you, if I don't mind, like if you don't mind.
Please go ahead.
You said that you agree with mostly everything I said. What you don't agree with, which I'm very interested in, like that's amazing feedback for me.
So overall, I would say I need to think about it, because I didn't have any, strong opinions in terms of, okay, no, this is completely different from the way I operate or it works. Perhaps I feel like the hardest part when it comes to building teams and everything, it's the first preliminary choice. So like understanding the frameworks and everything you said, it's extremely valuable once the team is set. But in my opinion, the hardest part probably was, how do I even identify what could make the team work well together? So in the very first initial part, it's not much of like a disagreement. It's more perhaps on a counter question, which is something that we probably didn't touch as deep as the others. Is when it comes to build the team, how can you identify in advance someone that you can feel could be a good potential partner in order to make something cool and valuable?
It is first of all, thank you for the feedback, because I believe you're very right. Didn't touch on that subject too much, as in like the practical side of like how you decided, but like I will say that like I don't think I have an answer myself. As in it all goes down to the individual, like relating with another individual. So again, not the ego, because the ego is like, I decide this is it, or like I have such a strong opinion because I did it before and you should listen to me. But it's more like, I am Marco and this is the kind of things that I want to do in this way because they really work for me. What about Mirko? Talk to me, get to know me, and then I get to know you, and they're like, oh my god, like we are so synergetic. And just as a parenthesis, Spark is designed to do this. Like what you do is you could see it as like Big Brother of game development. You literally go there as individuals, and you need to make the team yourself. So you need to meet people and find the people that you really work well with, and then you start making a game for Supercell for them in those 4 months. But you need to actually prove that your connection with these people is strong enough to go through all the things that will throw at you, because it's like I said, it's a tough process. But it's exactly that. It's designed to create those strong teams, and so that's a practical way, I guess. But if I had to do it myself from scratch, it's I guess network, go and meet people and do to know, like go out there, like post your feelings and your thoughts and what you care for, and then you might find that match. Anyway, sorry, didn't want thank you for the feedback. It's very good.
No, I love it. And like another interesting weird take that I feel like I matured after the experience, after the failure, because realistically I failed, but I feel like failures are super important, right? So another very important aspect of that is to build startup or perhaps something completely brand new. Having the person or the team close to you, it matters, like physical presence. I mean, I felt like that working together remotely was making the whole thing way harder, especially when it comes to evaluating whether the person in the team is the right fit for that specific project, which is weird because I'm a huge remote fan and I work remotely most of the time right now. But when it comes to building stuff from scratch and the first initial interactions, one of the things that made it extremely hard for me was not having the person close, like working together hands-on. So I don't know what's your take on that, because it's weird,
no,
like normal work, is the opposite, right? It's super all right working remotely, but for this specific kind of stuff,
I'll tell you more. Like apart from the fact that it's an amazing topic, it's a great, and I totally agree with you. At that stage, and I believe that's also why. Again, I'm going to mention Spark, but like Spark is in person. You cannot do it remotely. If you need to create those strong bonds, you must be together at least at the very beginning for a while. And I'll tell you more. Like we as a team, we are working in different countries. So I am in London, somebody else is in Berlin, and the others are in Helsinki. So it's the four of us in 3 different time zones. So not the end of the world, but like we get together by choice every month, 1 week. So every week we travel, we stay together, we work from the office of, London or Helsinki, and we get together and have, for example, specific meetings. We try to fit them in that week when we are together. We try to touch specific subjects that require like blue sky thinking on a whiteboard, like in person, and we feed each other from our energy and so on. It's a real thing. It's not just like a weird concept. And I'm going back to what I was saying before about culture. You need to check it every now and then. You need to maintain it. Teams have momentum, like games, like everything. Teams have momentum, and you need to nurture it. You need to maintain it, and you need to keep it up. Imagine that you find that amazing fit, then you don't see each other anymore.
I agree. Like you it's just important. Like it has to happen in order to.
I'm glad you raised it. I'm glad you raised this point.
Brilliant. Would you like to take a look at the questions? We have a couple of them actually. So we may.
I went far with my questions now. So yes, please.
No worries. We have a couple of minutes, so let's try to go through them.
You.
Critic, we all know that making games is hard because it involves something crucial called fun, which game developers understand. But how do you convince top management who may have no background in games? Oh, that's interesting.
Spicy.
Yeah.
I will once again tell you my experience. Like when I founded Pixion, we were looking for funding, and I know I'm not really answering the specific question here, but indulge me. We were looking for funding, and we went left and right, like to many VCs to raise the money that we needed for our seed. And some people were literally coming with like money in their hands. They were like, "You needed the money, I have the money." Like, and this, like,
let's go.
Person, like, let's go. And we were like, no, no, because like you don't have what we also need. It's not just the money, but it's like the same communication synergy needs to come from investors, for example, for people that can also support you. So, for example, it was important that we got somebody that gave us the funds, but also the know-how and like connection with other companies, maybe that could have helped our vision and our product, for example. So I am trying to say that like you need to find the right allies in a way. And if the management, in this case, I'm gonna go straight into your question, the top management has no background in games, is gonna be very hard because like they do not understand the fun. And that means that like your job is tougher. It's just like twice as tough to explain why that is fun. Or sorry, why fun is important. Sorry, that's what I meant. My suggestion could be, for example, putting in numbers. Try to communicate with them in a language that they understand. If it's money that they're looking, try to bring some concrete examples or some things on how actually fun translates into real, like, advantages, like in terms of like time spent in developing it, or I don't know, like it really depends what you define as fun. I would say if it's the game itself, I guess like it really depends. But like how to convince them, I would say find the language that they speak the most and try to convey the message using that language. And I hope that answers your question. Let me know what you think.
No, it's a super good one. Cool. And we got another one. What would you be looking at? Oh, sorry.
No. I was just saying to Cratch that, like, please, if I didn't answer your question, feel free to send me an email, and I'll try to answer the best I can.
Brilliant. What would be looking at if you're hiring a game designer at Supercell? Is it communication or attitude or skills?
I want to say all. Clearly,
I don't work at Supercell, but
no, I know. It seems like I'm trying to dodge the question here, but I'm really not, and I'll tell you why. Because every cell in Supercell, as I tried to explain before, operates as their own company. So every cell has their own culture, has their own way of hiring, ways of like developing their products, and so on. Clearly, all these cells must adhere to the values of Supercell themselves and the mission of Supercell itself. But to answer your question would be, it depends on which cell, because maybe like a game designer for Clash of Clans would be like much different than like the hiring process, at least might be very different than the one that we would use. And if you're asking us, if you're asking the cell that I have, which is making new games, so I cannot give you a name but because there is not one yet. I would say they all matter. They all really matter, and it's a question of balance. So you could be like a great communicator and not have like maybe the best skills, but if that compensates it so much, and it seems like we are lacking that kind of stuff, then rest assured that we would be very interested. And same goes for the other way around, as in like we're strong enough in communication, and you show that have amazing skills, and this is important, a very, very high threshold in like willing to learn how to communicate better. If you're not skilled enough, that's perfectly fine. But if you don't care, for example, about that at all, then it's a problem, I would say.
Yeah.
I hope that's the question.
100%. Alrighty, guys, if you have additional questions, usually I like to say feel free to drop Marco an email or eventually a message on LinkedIn, whatever works best for you. If you're fine with that, otherwise they're gonna like spam you. So I'm gonna ask permission in advance if that works for you.
Yes, no worries.
But I just
I just wanted to say that, like, please feel free to send me any questions you have, and I love that sentence. Bear with me if I'm not able to reply in a timely fashion. Like I do my very best. Like, feel free to text me anytime.
They know, like it's not the first time happening this kind of, so they know that it takes some time, right? That people have like, this is a voluntary work. So first off, thanks again for being with us. It's extremely well made, even the presentation, like super easy to digest and to grasp the value out of it. So I just wanted to thank you on behalf of me and the whole community again for doing this for us. And yeah, so I would say that we can call it a day for this time, but it would be my honor to potentially have you again in the future and hopefully meet you at some events in London. I was in London like a few weeks before for
yeah. Let me know next time.
It was nice. I will drop you a line when I will come back.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Any feedback also, guys, would be much appreciated. Everyone who wants to give me a feedback about the presentation, I would appreciate it. So yeah,
I can give you mine live. It was freaking amazing. So, GGVP, we say,
and at the end, right?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Marco. My pleasure.
Thank you, Marco. Bye, guys.
Take care, everyone. Bye.